friends, welcome back to Moon Magic Spirit. My name is Meg and today we're doing a tarot spread on what to expect this Scorpio season. If you're new here, welcome. We talk a lot about tarot, astrology, and crystals on this channel. If you're interested in booking a tarot reading with me, my website is linked in the description box down below, along with a Koji link, which is like Linktree but better, and it will show you where else you can connect with me on social media. We are amidst Scorpio season, and I'm using the perfect deck. I'm using the Halloween tarot deck. If you want a closer look at this deck, I have a deck unboxing and review linked up above and also down below, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. So it has been a minute since I've done a tarot pool for the astrological season, but here we are. We have 5 questions today. I got this spread from Emerald Lotus Deviation. I will have her Instagram handle linked down below. If you're into tarot, she has so many fun tarot spreads over there. So I've done a really good shuffle with my cards and I just laid them out here in front of me, and I'm just going to draw the ones that I feel connected to. The questions that we are asking today is, what is the theme of Scorpio season? And this is a reading for the collective, by the way. So if you have come across this video, there may be a card or several cards that have messages that you need to hear. If it feels right, if you connect to it, it was meant for you to hear. So card 1 is, what is the theme of Scorpio season? Card 2 is, how is this theme going to impact you? Card 3 is something that you've been emotionally avoiding, which Scorpio, I can say this is Scorpio moon, very good at doing. Card 4 is, how can you align your feelings and actions? And the last card is, how to embrace introspection this Scorpio season. And in case you're curious, introspection is like your own mental and emotional processes. So how to embrace your mental and emotional, probably more so emotional since we're in a water sign, processes the Scorpio season. So pretty in-depth reading. Let's get into it. Theme of Scorpio season. I pulled the Ace of Ghosts, which is cups in this suit, which, I mean, how fitting. I literally pulled the Ace of Cups for the theme of Scorpio season. Like, hello? I always laugh when tarot is like so on point. It's very literal. How will this theme impact you? How will the Ace of Cups impact us? I pulled the Four of Pumpkins, which is the Four of Pentacles. Something that you've been emotionally avoiding. We have the Five of Ghosts, which is Five of Cups. Again, too fitting. How can you analyze your thoughts and feelings? We have the Page of Bats, which is the Page of Wands. And lastly, how to embrace introspection this Scorpio season. I am feeling this card here, which is the Seven of Ghosts. Three out of 5 cards, we pulled the Suit of Cups. So what I'm going to do is flip the camera around so I can show you a closer look at these cards and we can get into what this reading means. Can you tell the caffeine is wearing off? Here is our little spread for Scorpio season. So right, the veil is very thin right now during Scorpio season, so I feel like we really need to take advantage of that. I am going to be talking about spiritual development and working on ourselves because it is so important, and I feel like it's something that we're all being really called to do this Scorpio season, and that's really reflected in this reading. So Scorpio season is all about spiritual development. You may be noticing that you're having more vivid dreams. You are going to be letting go of stuff that doesn't make you spiritually fulfilled. That's kind of like what I'm feeling, the messages that I'm getting for the Scorpio season. So when it comes to theme of Scorpio season, I feel like this is very blunt, very spot on. This Cup of Ghosts, aka Ace of Cups, Cup of Ghosts, Ace of Ghosts, which is the Ace of Cups. So this is all about releasing, my friends, and new opportunities are going to come to you and find you. But first, what you really need to do is release, and that's literally reflected in the rest of the spread. You need to release what is no longer serving you, like I said, on a spiritual level, and that's really going to affect your interpersonal relationships in your day-to-day life, but it's something that you've been putting off for a while, or something that you may have started doing, or you've been doing the work for a while and there's still some more work that you need to do. You may be feeling like a little bit tired right now, so make sure that you're also taking care of yourself and resting, but you need to release, and we really need to do this work together. There's a really big collective movement of a lot of people just letting go and focusing on themselves and their happiness, and that's really reflected in the spread and especially in this card. So for me, this is all about transformation and growing, right? Because it's a new opportunity. An Ace is a new opportunity. So you need to look to see where Scorpio falls in your chart. And that's the area that you're going to grow and transform in. So for example, if your Scorpio is in the first house, or if you're rising a Scorpio, you're going to have like a transformation about yourself with your identity. My moon is in my first house, my Scorpio moon. So you can look up a chart online. You can use Time Passages or Astro Cafe to find your chart. And you can also find guides online for what the different houses represent. And you can kind of get an idea of the area that you should be growing and transforming in. However, I feel like you're going to have a lot of really contagious energy around you, and you're really going to transform the way that you see yourself. That is what this card is calling you to do. And I just feel like there's going to be a lot more attention drawn to you this season in general. So this is all about processing emotions, maybe old emotions, or you're having new emotions that are coming up that are getting stirred up. You may be having like an emotional awakening. You're going to be feeling creative, more spiritually connected, more intuitive. You need to listen to your inner voice for your emotional and spiritual fulfillment, which is your intuition. And you really need to focus on remaining true to yourself. There could be like a lot of chatter and noise in the background. You're getting a lot of opinions from other people. People are trying to direct you in which way to go. You maybe feel like you're pulled in different directions right now, which is reflected in the Seven of Ghosts. But what you really need to do is stay true to yourself, listen to yourself, and do what is best for you. You really need to have emotional discipline in this practice as well. It's going to bring up a lot of things, and it's all connected in the other cards, but just making sure that you're exploring your emotions, but you're also having that discipline when expressing your emotions to other people. It's a whole process, but I feel like it's a necessary process that you're going to be going through this Scorpio season. So that's kind of the theme of Scorpio season that we pulled. Up next, I pulled the Four of Pumpkins, which is the Four of Pentacles, for how will this theme impact you? So this is all about letting go. In reflection of the Ace of Ghosts, you need to let go, especially of your possessiveness, your insecurity, you're feeling guarded. Those are all kind of elements to Scorpio that tend to be reflected and come out of us during Scorpio season. So it's all about letting go of the possessiveness, insecurity, and guardedness of ourselves, holding on too tight to our past ways or where we're feeling comfortable is going to stop us from moving forward. I feel like you are in protection mode right now. Like you're starting to feel the awakening of the Ace of Cups. You're starting to feel that emotional awakening. You're starting to feel a pull towards wanting to listen to your intuitive side more, or you know perhaps more of what you need to let go of and what you need to focus on with this transformation. But you're also in protection mode because it's very scary. It's new. You don't really know what to expect. You're not really comfortable because our ego gets really set in comfortableness. So your ego can get in the way of this transformation, but you need to let go. And you know, you can see in this card, the Scarecrow is planting the seeds of the pumpkins. In the original deck, it's a man that's holding on really tightly to the coins. So you need to let that go and be more like the I don't even know what this is. It's like a vegetable. A vegetable man. You need to be like the vegetable man and planting your seeds and letting go of that and watching what is going to grow in your garden when you do let go of your insecurity, possessiveness, and guardedness. So up next, we have the Five of Ghosts, which is the Five of Cups, for something that you've been emotionally avoiding. And this is you avoiding your grief. I'm like, sorry if you can hear the train in the background. I was like, what is that noise? Okay, so you are avoiding letting go. Basically, you're not wanting to grieve your past self. You're not wanting to let go of your ways. You're a little too concentrated on what's in front of you that you need to let go. So as you can see in the artistry here, the pumpkin man is like very confused. And you can also see the ghost is dumping out a bucket. But you can also see, if you take an even closer look, there's another full bucket behind the pumpkin man. So it's like you're so focused on letting this go and not wanting to be happy about letting it go that you have another bucket behind you that is full. So that's another opportunity, another way of being. It's the other side of things that are going to be presented to you if you can let this bucket go and not get in the way of the process of it letting go. So don't be unwilling to learn from your past mistakes. Don't be incapable of moving on, or you're going to miss out on what's in this other bucket, right? So this card is really calling you to commit to this. So something that you've been emotionally avoiding is your commitment to this change and to this process. And you need to grieve your past self and the things that you're letting go of, but don't let that consume you and be your main focus, because there is other opportunities of joy and happiness right behind you if you're willing to turn around and leave the past behind. So up next, for how you can align your feelings and actions, we have the Page of Bats, which is actually the Page of Swords. For some reason, I think I said Wands when I first pull it, but the Page of Bats represents the suit of swords. So when it comes to this, the page is like a student. The page isn't quite as mature as like a king or queen. So they tend to be a little bit confused, a little bit impulsive. They're not necessarily thinking before they're acting. They're just kind of doing what they feel. And sometimes, while it's good to listen to your intuition, sometimes you need to think before you speak is what the Page of Swords is telling us. You need to think before acting. You may be feeling a little anxious or aggressive right now with all of the emotions that are pouring out of you. It's a lot to process. So you may be feeling anxious or aggressive, not necessarily at a specific person, just kind of in general. So you really need to watch how that tone is coming across and how you're sounding when you're communicating with other people. They may pick up on your abrasiveness when you're not meaning to come across that way. And if you are feeling very like anxious or upset towards a person, just try to take a step back and just really analyze your thoughts before you bring them to fruition. Meditate before speaking. That's another thing that you can do. This card is also asking you to not be petty or blunt or to gossip in your ways of communication, because you may be up in your feels and it's easy to trash someone. It's easy to be petty, because again, that also ties into Scorpio. But what you really need to do is focus on emotionally evolving away from that. So you need to keep your eyes open and stay sharp. I would suggest avoiding conflict and unnecessary fights. If you really need to set boundaries with somebody, be sure to do that. But stay away from the pettiness and just don't pick a fight with somebody because you're in a bad mood. You need to find healthier ways to process these emotions. I really suggest getting out in nature if you feel like you are getting overwhelmed with your emotions or you feel like you have a lot building up. Just grounding yourself in nature or just doing something that you enjoy to relieve that tension is really helpful. So last card, we have how to embrace introspection this Scorpio season. And again, introspection is the examination of your mental and emotional processes, which is kind of what this entire spread has been calling us to do, right? So when it comes to the Seven of Ghosts or the Seven of Cups, it's often like you're feeling a little overwhelmed and like conflicted on what to do. So how you can embrace your processes. There's like a little bit of scattered energy right now. So what you need to do is take a step back to gain perspective and clarity, because if you look at something so close, it can be hard to see the bigger picture. So you really need to search for your purpose here, which is, again, the overall theme with these cards, what they're all kind of calling us to do. So this card is also a reminder to not get lost in the fantasy, an illusion, in thoughts, or distractions. This really needs to be your main focus, as the Ace of Cups needs to be your main focus for the Scorpio season. So don't get distracted or sidetracked by it, or, you know, start a bunch of other projects. You really need to focus on this one thing so you don't have that scattered energy. You also shouldn't be making decisions. This is such an important message. Do not make decisions for the sake of others or based in fear. If this is something that you have done in the past, this whole spread is calling on you to stop doing that. And it's really hard to do. It's easier said than done, but just listen to yourself. This is a call to listen to your intuition and let your intuition guide your decisions and your thinking. So don't do something just to please other people. Think about how that's going to affect you and if you're going to be happy doing that in the long run. You really need to reflect a lot this Scorpio season, because it's all about transformation. So in order to get to the transformation, we have to reflect. We need to go deep and say, what do I want? Why do I want this? Why do I want to do this? What is this going to bring me? What am I going to get from this? Is this going to help me on my life journey? Is this going to be good for me in the long run? You really need to connect with your intuition. And again, I really suggest reflecting on all of these questions out in nature. Obviously, it's Scorpio season, so if you can go be by water and reflect by water, that would be amazing. But also just taking a walk around the neighborhood or going to a park, or just spending time in nature and just really grounding yourself and having a moment to yourself of asking, what do I want and how can I get it? This is going to help get you to that transformation and let go of things that aren't making you emotionally and spiritually fulfilled. So I really hope that you take these messages and work on that for Scorpio season. If you want to come back in a couple of weeks and leave me a comment and let me know how that's going for you, I would love to read it. If any of these messages related to you, please let me know in the comments down below. We're about a week into Scorpio season, so let me know how it's been going for you so far. The veil is thin, my friends, so now is the time to really connect with our guides and intuition and see what we want out of life. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. Have a great Scorpio season. Don't be too hard on yourself. Make sure you're doing self-care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.